As Divya said, it's going to be an interesting session, a session where you invite your current district director, ask him to admit on all the mistake that he has made in his term, record it where you hear this golden voice from the Zoom, your session has been recorded. And then when someone asks, did the district director perform well in his term? You can always say no and show the recording to all the Toastmasters and say, look, this is how he performed, right? I think this is the essence of this session. Am I right? Right. Okay. I can see someone was saying yes and smiling. This is not the session about my mistake that I've made. In fact, yesterday's discussion about bilingual club. I think it was by incoming area director Sendil who raised a question on bilingual club functionality. You would have noticed the incoming division director elect Toastmaster Joe Srinivasan would have intervened and would have said, "Sir, I can share my lessons about bilingual club." The reason being, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. He even gave an anecdote about how Toastmasters Club is like a tennis court where there is clay court, there is grass court, but he wanted to share his experience so that Sendil will not go and do the same mistake which he did. What Joe Srinivasan did for 1 minute in yesterday's discussion, I'm going to do that for the next 30 minutes. This is what the session is all about. Now, one common question that might be lingering in all our minds is that why should I learn from a previous term? Why can't I try it on my own? Now, you can certainly do. You can have your own mistakes. That is where Toastmasters comes into picture. It provides all of us a learning platform where we can do the mistakes on our own and learn from it. But that is applicable only when you're doing things for your personal needs. If you're doing a hobby, let's say you want to enter into gardening, you can learn from scratch. You don't have to go buy an existing garden and try doing something on top of it. But when you want to work with an organization, work for the organization, you should always remember the organization should keep improving from one term to the other term. I was talking to Aarti yesterday. I said, Aarti, the DOTP session is so well organized. In fact, it's getting better year on year. And I was appreciating her for the way she is conducting the entire DOTP. That's the success of every term. How the next term functions and how they get on to become better is where they get to learn from the previous term, the mistakes which happened in the previous term, how he or she can correct it and then implement in the future term defines the true essence of leadership. To give you another example that all of us could relate with, now we are in a pandemic time. We just crossing the second wave of COVID. Most of us here would have questioned the government, be it the state government or the central government. Why weren't we prepared enough? We had the first wave. Why didn't we look for enough infrastructure to support all the needs? We were supposed to anticipate the second wave of COVID is going to hit us anytime. Why weren't we prepared enough? We were questioning the government, state government, or the central government. I don't want to get into the politics because here in Toastmasters, most of the clubs we say politics is a taboo. Though as an individual, I believe there shouldn't be anything called taboo because the moment you say something is taboo, accept the opinions of others as well. Now, that is for some other day, for some other discussion. We'll keep it aside. But the question here is, as a common man, as a public, are we not expecting our government to become better every now and then? We expect them to learn from the mistakes in the first wave, and they want to they have to implement in the second wave. And when third wave comes, I hope it should not come. But if in case such thing happens, don't we have that expectation that our government should be able to handle it better? It is the same amount of expectation a member will have in our district 120, that every year when he is participating in the Toastmasters program, his experience needs to be enhanced, his experience needs to be becoming better day by day. And this is where I come in as a past or outgoing district director. And more than that, I've been a Toastmaster for the last 11 years, which means around 8 to 9 years I've been an active member of District Council. So I've seen a lot of leadership lessons over the years, which I'm going to share. Now, this is going to be one of the toughest session that I've handled, which I'm going to handle, because every other session where I've been asked to handle in the past, it comes with a definite template. You start with the quality club program. You say these are the things that the club needs to do to achieve quality. If you talk about membership building program, you talk about Smedley award, you talk about talk up Toastmasters, beat the club, it has a definite template. But when it comes to lessons learned, there are plenty. I believe that each of you sitting here would have so many lessons being learned in your Toastmasters journey. I'm no different. I have plenty of lessons which I've learned in the last 1 year. But I thought it is fair only to have the top 5 lessons that I've learned in Toastmasters in the last 1 year or previous year as well to share with you so that the essence of this session doesn't get diluted. So there's only going to be 5 lessons that I've learned, which I believe will play a huge role in your journey as a district officer for next 1 year. Let me share my screen, right? Hope my screen is visible.
Yes,
Right.
it's visible.
Thank you, Divya. So I'm going to share only the top 5. In fact, again, it was quite tricky. In the last 1 month, I had to change this order many a times. Till yesterday, I had to keep shuffling the order because every now and then when I start interacting with the leaders, I felt that, okay, this should be given priority over the other lesson learned because we can't cover every lesson learned in a 30 minutes talk. So we have about 5 lessons learned from my experience, which I'll be sharing. And the first is the most important of all. If the first is not being understood clearly, no matter how many lessons I share with you all doesn't make any difference to your journey. So remember, the first one is the most important of all. That is action. In our previous session, we would have seen Arun would have shown you the dashboard where we might have sneaked into the way in which the district was functioning, how areas are functioning, how divisions are functioning. When you looked at the dashboard, you would have seen the result. Of course, the dashboard will get reflected next 2 to 3 days time, and you will have the final performance review or final performance status of the district in another 1 month time, the month of July mid. They'll have the dashboard updated completely. Now, one thing which I've noticed in the last 1 year, especially, is that everybody had great vision in the beginning of the year. Even a couple of sessions before, we asked the division directors here to present the success plan. Each of you would have come with your plan. You would have said, I want to do this. I want to make these many club distinguished, these many club president distinguished. I want to make every club a president distinguished. And end of the year, I want to make the division a president distinguished. I'm sure each of you would have had that plan. Same way, the area directors would have had your own plans. You would have wanted to have your area to become a president distinguished area by the term ends. Now, your previous district officer were no different. Not just your previous district officers, even the past district officers in the system were no different. When everybody started with a plan, everybody aimed for becoming a president distinguished area director or president distinguished division director. But the reality, not everyone gets to achieve that. While there are certain exceptions based on the pandemic situation, based on the reality where the club might close because the corporate has no funding in it to contribute anymore. But let us keep all this exception aside because I don't want that to dilute the importance of action here. Action is something which is very important. To me, the word leadership is not a noun, it is an action verb. That is something I want all of you to remember. Leadership is an action verb, it is not a noun. Leaders are the ones who translate the vision into reality. Today, all of us are sharing our vision. The district has a vision. You have a vision for a division. All of us are sharing our vision. But your job as a district officer is not just to share your vision or talk about your vision throughout the year, but to get things done. That is the most important of all. As leaders, we'll have to execute the plan that we have in place. Next 1 week, you'll have the entire plan that is required for the district. But what you're going to do after 1 week is nothing but mere action. You will have to execute each and everything in the entire term. Now it starts as small thing, right? It starts with basic acknowledgement. When the trio asks you something, you start acknowledging and then you start working with the timelines. Let me give you an example how a review meeting generally happens, and you tell me which area director might be better in your opinion. I'm going to give you some examples here. Now let's say the review meeting happens, the trio is present, you have the district director, you have the program call director, you have the club growth director, division director along with the area directors, you're having a review meeting. Now the first area director says, club A in my area is low on membership. That's the status that he or she is giving after 2 months or 3 months over. You will say, yeah, fine, that's a status, that's good, but we can make it better. The next area that next area that comes and says the club is low on membership, and I have recommended them to work on Smedley Award as a part of membership campaign. Sounds better, isn't it? Now the third area that comes and says my club is low on membership. I recommended them to work on Smedley Award, and they have promised me that they will be adding 5 members by August 15th. I can give you an update on August 10th. Doesn't it sound better? Now, the fifth area director comes and says, my club in my area has low on membership. I recommended them to work on Smedley campaign, and he finishes off the job and then calls the trio or the division that and says that the work is done. Now, tell me which is the effective of all. You can unmute and say.
The fifth person.
Fifth
The
person,
fifth.
right?
Yes.
Fellow Toastmasters believe this in the past. I have personally seen they always followed the fifth person way of working. They always have a member. Everyone who is going to work in your district leadership role for the next 1 year, remember any task that comes your way, have a proper timeline, have a proper communication place. When things happen, when things doesn't happen, you will have to communicate back to the trio or to the your own respective division representative. Now, area directors or the district officers in the past who have not followed this, I've personally seen. I'm not saying I've been area director in the past. It includes even me. Times when I've not set my own timelines, when I'm not given a proper communication. If you have great plans for an area, for your division, remember action speaks louder than the words. Remember this quote, action speaks louder than the words. So if you want to make your division a president distinguished, you have to act, and when you act, you have to act with timelines. Now, you may think that, okay, what will happen in terms of review meeting? I may not be there in the review meeting, so how will Pravi know? Because even this is an action for me. I have to ensure that all the district officers present in the meeting will go on to implement this. Now, Satish, Aarti, and Gayatri have given their hotline numbers, which means anytime in Toastmaster system, I can call them and ask whether area directors are talking with timelines, whether division directors are talking with timelines. So I hope I have the agreement from each and every one of you here today that the next 1 year you will work with proper timelines in all the activities that you sign up for. It might be even for a club visit, have a proper timeline in place. Now, sometimes as an area director, you will walk into a club and you have to conduct the moments of truth. Prashant Sri explained that in his session yesterday, right? As an area director, you have to go to the club, work with the club in conducting moments of truth where you identify the challenges the club has, right? Now you can list down the challenges. You can tell the challenge you can tell the club that these are the challenges you need to focus on. Now after 6 months, what happens? Yesterday we discussed the role of the district officers to be a facilitator. The facilitator role completes when the action is completed. So it is not just enough to you to go out to the club and do a moments of truth and come back and say, look, my job is done. Now the club can go on to apply for Golden Gavel Award. No, that's not it. You will have to follow up with the club and ensure the club overcomes the challenges. That is where we as a district officer installation ceremony, where we go on to speak in a flamboyant way. Some of you are great orators in this current team. I agree. But being an effective speaker alone is not enough. You might get a thunderous round of applause during the meeting. You say, wow, look at our area director. The way he or she speaks is so amazing. We should learn. But after 1 year, when you end your term as your area director, division director, and you graduate and move on, if you want to prove yourself as a leader, that's when the test comes. How many people look up to you as a leader will be the one which will be answering you whether you've been a great leader or not. If you have been a leader who have helped the club to achieve their goals, that's when the club will start looking up to you. I have personally seen many Toastmasters who have been in leadership role, who had been great communicators, but they've not been able to deliver things. That's reality. While I've seen many Toastmasters who have not had great flamboyant communication, but they work closely with the club, and end of the year they see themselves as a president, distinguished division director, or president, distinguished area director. The difference is that the second part of the officers, they act on the timeline, they act on the promises they make to the district and division. You all have a great plan. I was witnessing the plans proposed by the division. Please make sure you act on the plan. Your role doesn't end by visiting the club and giving the 2 minutes or 3 minutes of talk. Now, again, that is little worrying. The club invite you and say you have 2 minutes of slot to speak. I wonder what can we even speak in 2 minutes. Sometimes we as a district trio, we suffer a lot when the club asks you to speak just for 2 minutes. Sometimes we even say, okay, it's fine. You don't have to call the entire members of the trio. You can call one individual and give them 5 minutes to talk or 6 minutes to talk. So another request that I'm putting forward to you, district officers, especially area directors, when you talk to your clubs, inform them when you are inviting trio, division directors, or the area directors, please allot 5 minutes of time to speak. Even today morning, I got a call and asking me to speak for 2 minutes, and they asked for introduction. I said, please don't, you don't have to introduce me. At least give that 30 seconds of introduction so I can speak for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. That is how I have to plead with the clubs because they don't understand with 2 minutes, you cannot deliver a message in a right manner. You need at least 4 or 5 minutes to connect with the club and give the message. So you don't have to have everybody in the meeting, but give that one person right amount of time so you make the person feel respected in the meeting. So that's number one action. I hope I have buy-in from each and every one of you that you will be an action-oriented leaders for the next 1 year. Yes, you can say yes by clicking select either heart or party or like symbol, anything that you want. You can select and give me a thumbs up. Yeah. When Aarti asked people to show heart in the morning photo shoot session, everybody gave a heart just like that. As an outgoing district that I'm pleading, you all give me some reaction, or people are very hesitant to give me. So Aarti, or I think I should work with you to get certain things done. Anyway, we'll move on to the second lesson that I learned in Toastmasters. It's quite important and it is little difficult one as well. Balance, right? Yesterday, while DOTP was going on, I got a call from one of the Toastmasters, and this individual calls me up and says, "Praveen, I should have become an area director. Why was I not selected as an area director?" I'm sure most of the division directors here would have heard so many, such conversation. I did get a call where this Toastmaster said, "Praveen, I should have become an area director. What do you think I lack? I have so much qualities. I've been this, I've been that. I should have become an area director." Now, for once, I thought I should feel happy about this because the person still thinks the outgoing district director still has the power to make someone an area director. But the other side, I was thinking, should I feel disappointed because this individual was with all over with emotions? Now, certainly, I had to feel a little disappointed because this is not new in Toastmasters. Over the years, I'm seeing in Toastmasters many individuals they sulk up, they sulk in with all these emotions. Especially they, when rejection happens, they feel so bad, they feel low. Especially you as area directors, division that external team members, remember there will be rejections for you in the next 1 year. Things that you might put across might not be simply agreed by your division director or by the trio. You will have to let go of certain things. Never get emotionally attached to the roles. See each activity as an independent one. The moment you mix, last time the division director said no to my idea, so I'm not going to give any idea this time. You will be a loser end of the term. Never try to mix up the emotions. Emotions will play a huge role in your Toastmaster journey. I've said this in the past, I'm repeating it again today. In the year 2013, I was not selected as the area director when I applied for the role. I was a Golden Gavel Club president. I was president of Golden Gavel Club. I was from Chennai Speakers Forum. Arna was my president, charter president who led me. I was serving as a vice president education. I finished my term as president. I was all excited to become an area director. In between, I was the conference co-chairman of Ovation 2013, and where we had area directors and division directors working along with us. Now imagine after serving big roles, you would obviously expect to become an area director, but I was not given a role as an area director. I was told that you are not ready yet. Back then, I was having again this emotional problem. I was thinking, oh, something is going wrong. I should have been selected, but I lost my precious amount of time. Take this as a lesson. Do not get affected by emotions, especially in Toastmaster. We have lost many valuable members in the system because they could not handle emotions. Second, I said it's very important to balance your life. I've said it during the district annual conference. Make sure you balance your life. I know today most of you will be receiving some comments from your family members. Whole day you're sitting in front of your computer. You were supposed to go get groceries. Now they are always right. Remember, your family members are always right. If you receive such comments, which means you have failed to do your planning. If you have your district officer training program this weekend, then it means that you should have spoken to them in advance and told them, look, for 2 days I'll be occupied. Tell me what I should contribute beforehand. You should have done all the things in advance. And if you're taking care of everything, probably taken off on Friday or Thursday, be with your family and then attend this program. Probably even you would have got coffees in between, you would have got snacks in between. They would have taken care of you. But if you've not done that, then you had it. You would be getting all the gestures from all the other side behind the camera. Someone will be saying, how long you're going to be in this meeting, right? You can avoid that if you balance. A simple question will put you into test. Next month, same date, what is your plan? Next month, same date, what is your plan? If you're saying, no, I have not planned, then you have to start planning. You go to a lot of interviews where the interviewer asks you, how will you see yourself in next 5 years of time? You say, I see myself a project manager. I see myself as a technical architect. How can you say that confidently when you don't know what you'll be doing next 1 month time? And if you don't have an idea what you'll be doing the next 1 week, then I want you to start focusing on this. Once you balance your emotions, once you balance your life, balancing Toastmasters becomes simple. All that you need to have is a calendar. It could be a Gmail calendar, an Outlook calendar, any calendar. Put all your activities for at least 6 months and don't take up any other additional roles for 6 months. Your life will be enjoyable. It's very hard for me to say this, but recently I saw a post by a district office from another district where he had put in the Facebook that it's been a very stressful year. I was so tempted to come and please quit Toastmasters. Toastmasters is not for you because you cannot blame Toastmasters for not being able to handle your life properly. This is a place where we learn leadership skills. So you have to master the art of balancing. It doesn't come in easier way. I'm finding it difficult, but you will have to practice. If you plan your things in advance, you will have a great, fantastic year. Third is collaborate and compete. We all will be waiting for July 1st to start, right? Because we love being competitive in nature. Remember where to collaborate and where to compete. You have to collaborate with all your district officers here. Back then during in-person days, I mean, I know we've been quoting a lot of in-person days, be it DOTP, be it conference and all that, but I have to quote it again because back then we used to have joint conferences, joint OTPs. There'll be so much of collaboration that will be happening between the divisions, district and all that. But today, due to this COVID challenging times, we have been forced to have individuals meeting, individuals OTP. Collaboration is certainly reduced. I humbly request you all to collaborate with all your fellow district officers. Your district officers are not your competition. Area director of A1 should collaborate with division area director of H2. Division director of H can collaborate with an external team member. External team member can collaborate with another division director. We need to practice collaboration if we want to be one strong team. But where to be competitive? Compete against yourself. If you see yourself as a competition, then it's totally fine. Next 1 year, when you finish the cross line, you should see as yourself as a better person, better leader, better speaker. That's the competition you're going to run. You're going to run alone when it comes to competition, but you're going to be in a collaborative style when you're going to work with all of us here. This is one single team. I see great leaders in this team. I see great people with inspirational thoughts, people who are good at humor, people who are good at getting things done. This is such a wonderful team. I humbly request you all to collaborate and work. In the past, I've seen where districts or divisions were not ready to collaborate. We have failed miserably. If you want to make sure this is a successful term, you will have to collaborate and compete with your own self, not with others. Don't look at what happened the previous year. Don't look at what happened 3 years ago. Don't say, look, I made a better term than the last year. No, Your job is to do your job. Don't worry about how others are performing. Each of you have a unique area, unique division. Some will have 20 clubs, some will have 18 clubs, some will have 25 clubs. We cannot compare anything here. But you have to compete with yourself and put your best. The results will be taken care of. Fourth one is one district, one voice. I think this is what our district director mentioned in his opening remarks today. It's quite important. I'll give you an example where we face this challenge. In the past, one of the division council meeting where a club comes with the query on Golden Gavel, the area director will simply say, ask the district director. For everything, they'll say, ask the district director, ask the program called director. Remember, everything that gets finalized in the next 1 week, we decide as one team. Like I said in the past, like said in the previous slides, sometimes your thoughts will be agreed upon. Sometimes you'll have to learn how to disagree to agree, agree to disagree. So you will have to let go of your thoughts. But the moment we finalize on a plan, it is one voice. Any point in time, any club asks you for any clarification, you say, as a district, we have decided to do this. You cannot say our district director said this, though even I was not agreed to the point that he put forward. No, you cannot say that. We are one single team. Though you are called as division A, division B, division C, all of us, the role are nothing but district officer role. So when we say district as a whole, by large, it consists of all the members present in this meeting. You and I are no different. Even the immediate past district director will be a district officer. What you say represent not just your voice, it represents district voice, it also represents my voice. So next 1 year we'll be talking in one voice and as one district. The past has seen sometimes we deviate, again it helps us not to achieve the goal. Example, now district A has not so great vision and they have people implementing their thoughts in their own ways. Now district B has, let's say, okay, I'll have this example set for the next slide. We'll quickly move on to the next slide as we are running out of time. Fifth one is my favorite, but it is not the top priority. Now that's not the sentence I'm giving you. It's the title of the slide. My favorite, but it's not the top priority. That means whatever is your favorite might not be the top priority for the district. Remember that very clearly. There are chances as a district officer you might get distracted on the go. You might want to create great flyers, great applications, do this, do that, and all that. But you should work with the district to understand what is the vision of the district and work along with the vision. When you try to do something different than what is asked out of you from the district, we will not be able to achieve the vision. So what is the vision of our district director or for the district? You can unmute and say. We've been hearing this word in every now and then.
Sustainable growth.
Sustainable growth, exactly. Now imagine the district director, the trio, all of us agreed upon sustainable growth, but you are tempted to have your own goals to achieve in Toastmasters. In the end, we will fail as one team. We will fail certainly. I'll let me now give you that example which I wanted to give you earlier. Now, District A has a not so great vision, but they got set of district officer will go on to implement the vision. In the end of the term, District A will achieve what they had planned. Now, District B might have a fascinating and exciting vision which will be so inspiring, but the leaders who are working as part of District B, if they have their own agenda, their own thoughts to implement, end of the year, District B will not achieve the vision, no matter how better it was than compared to District A. That is where I say never try to put yourself ahead of the organization. It could be your favorite, it could be your ideology, you could believe in that, but that is not the top priority for the district. Organization always supersedes your interest. Remember, it is not only in Toastmasters, even at workplace, you might be working so hard and you might be wondering why I'm not given a promotion in my office. Probably because you are working hard, but not working on the interest of the organization. If you work with the interest of the organization, if you work with the organization priority, I'm sure the organization will give you promotion in the years to come. Most often I've seen district leaders doing this mistake. While we agreed to a plan the beginning of the year, which is where we have this district officer training program, moment we start the year, we start getting distracted. We say, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. In the year end, when it comes, what happened to our vision? There are chances that we might not have implemented that or achieved that. That is because you would have got distracted, right? These are the 5 lessons that I personally believe is very important, or it could be a tool for you in the next 1 year. You could probably think this is a mistakes of Praveen Mani. I'm totally fine, provided if you make me a promise that you will implement this. I'm totally fine if you think that these are the mistakes made by Praveen. I'm totally fine, but all I want you to do is go on to implement this. I think the time is up. If there are any question, I'll probably take one question and we can probably wind this up.
Praveen, what was your toughest, I mean, challenge for the term?
Okay, and this is from, sorry,
Arun.
Arun.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give you another example. Recently, I saw this interview of actor Aravind Swamy. Hope you all know who Aravind Swamy is. And he was asked a question. He's a cricket enthusiast. So he was asked a question. Tell me your favorite all-time great 11 in cricket. He said all great names, Gary Sobers, Vivian Richards, and all that. And finally, he said the captain of the team will be Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And he said, ask me why did I say Mahendra Singh Dhoni? And the compare was why Mahendra Singh Dhoni, why not Kohli and all that. And his response to that is the answer that I'm going to give you. He said, when you work with talented people, especially the greats of all the time, they'll be filled with egos. Egos, as in they'll be having great achievements, and a lot of any person introduced in district officer, they'll have a lot of achievements. If you want to manage people of egos in a not a wrong way, but people who achieve great things in life, you should be a man of no ego. So if you want to lead a team of great talented folks, if you're a division director, if you have great set of area directors, or if you're an area director who has got Golden Gal recipient clubs in your area, if you want to be a successful one, remember, you should not carry any ego throughout your term. Now, I had Satish Menon, who has double the amount of experience than me in corporate life, in life. I had Partha, who had double the years of experience in their life. Now, if I go on to say that I'm the talented of all, I think I would be wrong. So I learned in Toastmasters, it is not the talented people who reach the top. It is the one who knows to work with the talented people will get to reach the top. So 11 years in Toastmasters, if you want me to summarize how I got here, it is because it has taught, the Toastmasters Forum taught me how to work talented people. So that is my response to your question.
Thank you, Praveen.
Right. Right. I think we will end this now. Any other questions? There are plenty of lessons that I've learned. Any question that you have, you can always bounce it across to me in WhatsApp or chat or email. I'll always be happy to share my learnings with you all. Don't worry. Please go on to implement these 5 things. I kept it as minimum as possible. These are 5 important lessons that I've learned. Go on to implement. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, we'll ask Satish Man to include that in his next lesson learned, that don't listen to the previous district director's lesson learned. So with that note, I wish you all a great, successful journey ahead. Such a fantastic team. I've been enjoying my 2 days of training program, though I would so, interested to join my district leadership journey once again, but I have a bit other roles to perform in the district. I'll be looking forward to working with you all closely. Any point in time, any support that you want, reach out to me or to the district trio. We are always there to support you. Thank you, and back to you, Divya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Praveen Mani, for all these wonderful words of wisdom and experience. Action, act with timelines, facilitate and follow up with the team. Balance, master the art of balancing your emotions, life, and Toastmasters. Collaborate as one strong team, but compete only with yourself. One district, one voice. Prioritize your district goals and not your personal favorites. What a wonderful way of putting all the top 5 challenges that you faced and lessons learned. And without mention, what a thought-provoking question as well. Next month, what is your plan? I'm sure we would take up all these inputs and work in the upcoming term. On that note, I would like to have a quick feedback for Toastmaster Praveen Mani's session. Let me drop the link in your chat box. Please take a minute to fill the feedback form.